Hi guys, Sarah here, and welcome to Novel Expectations. Today I'm coming to you with a Tuesday Talks video. Tuesday Talks is a Goodreads group that was started by Janie over at the Bookworms Buddy and Janelle from Miss J. Rod Reads. And sorry, my books just fell over behind me on the shelf because I've been pulling a bunch of them out to show you guys. So this week's question is, bear with me, is favorite books or series from 2015. I had a couple books, I think at least 6 books that I gave 5-star ratings to. But I have 4 of them that distinctly stand out in my mind that I want to talk to you guys about. So I'll kind of go in order of how I read them. The first one was Outlander. Outlander was absolutely fantastic. I listened to it on Audible. It was about 30 plus hours. The narration was beautiful. I can't recommend it enough. I've been in bookstores since, and I've seen the copies of Outlander and all the rest of the books in the series, and a part of me really wants to pick them up and read them like in book form, but the audio is just beyond compare, and I think that's what really made the book for me. I read the first book a few years ago in print book format, and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it, but the audio just lends something else to it. You just feel like you're there. It's like, you know, you're even more immersed into the story, and it was wonderful. The next book that I want to talk to you guys about is Chesapeake by James A. Michener. This is a historical fiction novel, and it's another 30, or maybe, no, it was a 50-hour audiobook. The narration was a little dry, and I found I had to speed it up a bit to make it really listenable, but it was a fantastic novel. For those of you who are unfamiliar with James Michener's work, he takes a location and then pretty much goes through history in that one location, following roughly the same family, or same group of families. So with Chesapeake, it starts out with the time of Pocahontas, the discovering of the New World, right up until about the 1970s during Watergate. The book was written in the late 1970s, so that's why it kind of stops there. But it goes through like major world events, or major events that shape the Chesapeake region, which for those of you who are unfamiliar, that's like Virginia, Maryland, the Chesapeake Bay area, essentially. And it was fascinating. For somebody to sit down and give you a plot of this novel would be near to impossible, because essentially the book reads as smaller stories that take place during different time periods. And I absolutely loved it. And I do have the rest of the Michener novels on my wish list on Audible. And when I have the time, I'm definitely going to be picking another one up. I might want to get to one in 2016. We'll see. I read Hawaii years ago, and I really like to reread it. But then again, I'd like to read one that I haven't read yet, so we'll see. The third book I want to talk about is And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. I had to read this book in high school, and I remember not caring for it that much. But I reread it. Actually, I listened to it on Audible. It was another Audible book, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The narration was wonderful. The story itself was great. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the plot, it's about a group of 10 people who get summoned to this island off of Devon in England, and they don't know who each other are, and they're assuming they're there for a party. Slowly they all begin to die, and it's pretty much a whodunit. And the whole time you're trying to guess, like, you know, was it so-and-so? And then they drop dead, and you're like, well, obviously it wasn't so-and-so. Really, really great novel. It's not a very long book. I highly recommend it. It is a classic, as far as I'm concerned. And the last book, and even after reading Outlander and reading some of those other ones, this one probably still lists as my favorite book of 2015. And that is Furiously Happy by Jenny Lawson. I read this one in November and loved it. This is a nonfiction book. It's about Jenny Lawson. It's her memoir. She is known as the bloggess online. And she suffers, unfortunately, from a lot actually, of mental issues. She has depression, she suffers with sleep disorders, and yeah, it's pretty bad. So the full title of the book is actually Furiously Happy, a funny book about horrible things. So she talks about living with these problems, but has decided that she's going to do her best to try and be happy. And it's wonderful. The conversations in the book with her husband are just hysterical. I was sitting at work reading this, and my manager would pop her head over. Okay. I was reading it not during work hours. It was on lunch, okay? And my manager would pop her head over the wall and like, what are you doing? Because I'd be laughing so hard, I couldn't eat my sandwich. Like, it was fantastic. I want to pick up her first book. This is her second book. Her first one is called Let's Pretend This Never Happened. So yeah, the cover and even the book itself is gorgeous. I'm so glad I picked this up in a hardcover. So I highly recommend this, even if you're not into memoirs, and I'm really not generally. This one I absolutely loved, so I highly, highly recommend it. Anyway, guys, what were your favorite books from 2015? I would love to know. Please post in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Bye.